Career. Lizzie had an industrious career in the education sector, full of life, fun, and excitement. After graduating from Kenyatta College, present-day Kenyatta University, Lizzie started her job as a teacher at State House Girls High School. She taught for a year before resigning to take care of her children. When her children attained school age, her desire to embark on her career path as a tertiary institution trainer was reignited. She got a job in Temple College as a secretarial studies trainer. The owner, Mrs. Willis, an elderly white woman who was soon to retire, was the proprietor of the college. Lizzie became one of her most loyal and dedicated lecturers, and as a reward, she was promoted to the position of deputy principal. After 5 years of active service, it was apparent that she had settled to Lizzie to become the institution's principal. Mrs. Willis eventually approached Lizzie and asked whether she was in a position to buy off the institution. Lizzie was excited about that proposal, and she approached her husband. The purchase and transfer was effected. Mrs. Willis left for the country, and Lizzie took over as the principal and director of the college. Under the leadership of Lizzie, Temple College grew twofold. 99% of the students were from Uganda, Tanzania, Sudan, and few from Kenya. The collapse of the East African community in 1977 came with very serious ramifications to the existence of Temple College. The countries that were enrolling majority of the learners withdrew their students, and the risk of survival was now squarely on Lizzie's shoulders. She had to be creative to remain afloat. Lizzie had to think fast if she was to make the college thrive again. She could not live with the reality of laying off her members of staff and shutting down the college. Lizzie casted her net into the local waters to get students. She thought of a promotion drive that took the market by storm. In the 80s, not many private institutions had a promotional campaign going in the local media, and so she launched her charm offensive on air. Those were the days of media monopoly, where the only channel was the Voice of Kenya. That was later to become the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, KBC. The media houses were also not used to hosting local entrepreneurs to campaign for the national economy, and therefore they embraced Lizzie with both arms as they gave her free invitation to its Swahili, English, and Gikuyu service station. Those who were born then remember that the only Kikuyu broadcast service aired its programs for a few hours in a day. Those are the days when the late Gaidhuma, Wake Mumu, and others were the station celebs who hosted guests, and their popularity with the masses then worked well for her promotion agenda. At the English service, Lizzie worked with Sarah Kihara and Simon Gigi as her hosts, and by the grace of God, she created an impact in the local market. Temple College underwent a rebirth that made it popular and most sought after privately owned secretarial college. It was the best performing college in Pitman's and City and Guilds exams. Graduates from the college were highly sought by both public and private organizations. Apart from just getting the skills, the students were molded into respectful and responsible individuals. At Temple College, Lizzie invented a work plan that to endear her to parents who had placed their children under her training care. Training institutions back then were not known for discipline. Lizzie devised a clarion call for hard work, discipline, and excellence as core values to Temple College. She established a rapport with her students where she aspired to have a face-to-face engagement with them as many times as possible and inspiring them. At that time, Lizzie was a very young mother, scaling the heights in an era where it was fashionable to associate women with household chores, cooking, cleaning, and just being a wife. Lizzie was raring to go. In line with the then emerging market trends, Lizzie felt the urge to diversify other academic programs, IT, business, accountancy. By the very nature of business partnerships, decision-making at times take longer. Lizzie felt the time was right for her to independently pursue her dreams. She had garnered adequate experience and exposure to navigate the academic sector. As the philosopher says, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Lizzie set up a small team of confidants led by James Mwangi of Equity Bank, then Equity Building Society, to brainstorm on the new venture which building along Helsilasi, tenants vacated to pave way for renovation. In 2003, renovations were complete, but the tenants were reluctant to take up the space. Lizzie, with her courage and business acumen, was empty and students could roam around, moving from the top to the ground floor freely. The building had ample parking, which made it easy to attract both day and evening students. Corporates could sponsor their employees to undertake various professional courses at NIPS. In the year 2005, the space became small and Lizzie took over 4 floors in Agriculture House building along Harambe Avenue to start paramedical courses. These did not augur well with the regulatory bodies, that namely Pharmacy and Poisons Board and Kenya Medical Laboratory Technician and Technologist Boards. One morning in the year 2006, Lizzie woke up to find her business name as a headline in one of the local dairies, indicating that the college had been closed down, allegedly for non-compliance with medical regulatory bodies. This was a major setback that provoked her to pursue the matter in court. Her resilience gave her motivation to travel to India and source for all necessary medical equipment that the 2 boards required. In the subsequent inspections, the college was given the green light to continue training in paramedical courses that saw thousands of young men and women train in diploma in pharmaceutical technology and diploma in medical laboratory technology. Today, these technicians are heading giant institutions locally and abroad. Lizzie's desire to see many young people acquire a diverse set of skills led her to start other academic programs, such as legal studies, which was a preserve of the Kenya School of Law, Lizzie could dare swim in uncharted waters with courage. In year 2007, a number of tenants had showed interest in taking up space at Cooperative Bank House, and the landlord felt that a college was a nuisance in the building. They wrote to Lizzie, informing her that they shall not renew the tenancy contract with NIBS for another period. Again, she went to court and obtained an injunction. This setback came with a silver lining, as it opened up her eyes that one day she could eventually be thrown out and inconvenience the training. This made her look for rad elsewhere with a view of setting up her own premises. This search ended up in Ruiru, Kiambu County, at a place called Kimbo, where she set up an ultra-modern spacious training facility on 17.5 acres of land. In 2009, Lizzie made up her mind to relocate NIBS from Cooperative Bank House to Ronald Gara Post Office building along Ronald Gara Street. NIBS had become a household name, and this attracted young enthusiast runners to pursue training despite the fact that the street was perceived to be insecure. In 2010, the ultra-modern training facility, dubbed Thika Road Campus, was complete and was opened by the then Assistant Minister for Planning, an MP in the new facility. Opening the campus came with a myriad of challenges, keeping in mind that the Thika Road superhighway was under construction. From NIBS, one could see Kirimabogo Hills, since no investor was interested in setting up any investment around the area, which was perceived to be non-viable and insecure. In her characteristic pacemaker element, Lizzie braced the challenges that arose mainly from insecurity. Unfortunately, 2 months upon opening the campus, thugs broke into the facility and made away with equipment worth millions of shillings. 2 weeks later, NIBS was raided again, and unfortunately, 2 security officers who were deployed to guard the premises were killed. This was very sad and a trying moment for Lizzie, and she was at her lowest and about to throw in the towel. However, her resilience and determination in fulfilling her vision superseded the challenges. Around 2015-2016, Lizzie embarked on a journey to set up a university. This was a smooth sail for her, as she did put up together an able team to steer the process. She made available resources to attain the university status. She recruited a vice chancellor, Professor Miriam Muita, and midwifed the process. At the 11th hour, Lizzie had a change of heart due to the prevailing hype of institutions converting to universities. It bothered her that this mass exodus from technical training to university could lock out very many students who do not meet the entry grade to universities. Additionally, one of the conditions to set up a university was to drop 70% of the diploma programs. It was Lizzie's belief that provision of quality training was the sure way of breaking the cycle of poverty in the society. It was her conviction that even those young Kenyans who scored low grades in KCSE deserved a chance to acquire skills that will enable them become self-reliant and actively contribute to the economic development of the country. She made up her mind to disengage from the process of transforming NIBS to a university, but instead rebrand to a technical training college, despite being awarded a letter of interim authority by the Commission of University Education to offer 4-degree programs. Lizzie's transformational leadership at the helm of NIBS saw the institution evolve from a secretarial college to become disciplines. Currently, NIBS boasts of an enrollment of over 5,000 students across the 3 campuses and a legacy of graduating hundreds of thousands with various professional courses over the years. Lizzie has left behind an indelible mark in tertiary training sector. The entire journey of Lizzie and NIBS is an heading and cannot be documented in full. NIBS Guest House and the Emory Hotel. Lizzie established NIBS Guest House in 2003 as a local joint for nyama choma and drinks for the residents of Girereshwa area. This facility doubled up as a restaurant and on-job training facility for the hospitality students that are taking their training at NIBS. Unfortunately, in 2006, fire razed down the facility completely to the ground. This was a blessing in disguise for Lizzie, as she, for a very long time, had issues with her staff ranging from poor management, theft, to lack of accountability. She had grown tired of the facility. This gave her an opportunity to rebrand the facility into a foster facility. In 2015, construction of the Emory Hotel commenced in earnest. Lizzie had purposed the facility to offer commercial services and also serves as NIBS hospitality students during practical training and internship. Construction ended in 2018 and the hotel opened its doors to the public within the same year. Lizzie's desire to provide livelihood for young Kenyans has seen her employ over 70 permanent employees who entirely depend on the hotel as their source of livelihood. Lizzie Wanyoike Preparatory and Senior School. Lizzie always had a desire to establish a learning center which will offer a strong foundation right from childhood and give strong values and character as a base for proper upbringing of these children. She had observed that the negative behavior amongst some of the students at college level was as a result of weak upbringing at elementary level of education and at home. She identified this gap, and in January 2021, her dream was realized through establishment of the Lizzie Wanyoike Preparatory and Senior School, which is strongly grounded on values and character. Her efforts bore fruits in 2022 when 4 pupils joined various national schools across the country. In the year 2023 KCPE examinations, another set of 4 pupils joined national schools, with the first candidate joining Kenya High. It is worth noting that the confidence young parents have with Lizzie has resulted to an enrollment of over 850 runners within a record of 3 years of existence. Lizzie has left behind a legacy and an inspiration that will drive Lizzie Wanyoike Preparatory and Senior School to where she would have wanted it to be. Christian Rife, while her illustrious academic and industrious accomplishment may paint a picture of a singularly minded woman, Lizzie's success got its sustenance from her deep faith and lifelong belief in the Almighty God. Born in a staunch Anglican family where her father was a lay leader, Lizzie was introduced to Christianity at a tender age in ACK Gatukeine Church. Later, when they relocated to Kereaine, she joined ACK Kagajo Church, where she was baptized and confirmed. When she got married, Lizzie joined her husband, who was fellowshipping at PCEA St. Andrew's Church, Nairobi. After relocating to Kuna, she went back to Anglican Church and joined St. Mark's Westlands, where she has been fellowshipping and also an active member of the Ladies' Fellowship. In 2022, she joined ACK St. Joseph's of Arimathea, Thome, which was closer to her residence. Lizzie's journey with the ACK Church was not just a path of attendance. It was a profound commitment to faith, service, and community. She embodied the true essence of a Christian, consistently demonstrating love, compassion, and a deep-rooted dedication to her spiritual walk. Those who witnessed Lizzie's unwavering faith served as a guiding light for those fortunate enough to know her. Her presence in the congregation was more than attendance. It was an embodiment of the teachings of Christ, marked by kindness, generosity, and a genuine concern for the well-being of others. Lizzie was actively involved in numerous church activities. From the choir loft to the Sunday school classrooms, she lent her talents and time selflessly. Her dedication to nurturing the faith of the younger generation was truly commendable. One of Lizzie's most remarkable qualities was her ability to bring people together. She had a heart that welcomed everyone, creating an atmosphere of warmth and inclusivity within the church community. Her genuine smile, kind words, and open-hearted embrace made her a source of comfort and inspiration for many. Beyond the walls of the church, Lizzie lived out her faith in her daily life. Her actions spoke louder than words, and her commitment to justice, love, and mercy reflected the teachings of Christ in every aspect. Due to the nature of her work, Lizzie found herself cutting across different denominations, where she was invited as a motivational speaker and a beacon of hope for women, men, mothers, and young people. Lizzie was a living testament of the transformative power of faith across all denominations, community, and social life. Lizzie was not just a person who gave. She was a beacon of generosity and compassion, a shining example of what it means to selflessly uplift others. Her philanthropic endeavors touched the lives of many, leaving an indelible mark on the hearts of those fortunate to be recipients of her kindness. One of the most remarkable aspects of Lizzie's philanthropy was its inclusive nature. She believed in reaching out to every corner of our community, ensuring that no one felt left behind. When it was providing support to families facing financial hardships, extending a helping hand to the elderly, or championing causes that aimed to empower the marginalized, Lizzie's heart knew no bounds. Her commitment to education was particularly noteworthy. Lizzie recognized the transformative power of knowledge and was a passionate advocate for making education accessible and affordable to all. Countless students have benefited from her scholarship, each being a testament of her belief in the potential of young minds. The results of this initiative motivated her to write her first book entitled Empowering the Youth Through Training. During her interactions with members of the community, Lizzie used to come across several households with bright students who have completed their elementary education but cannot access higher education due to lack of funds. Through her personal initiative, as well as that of Lizzie Wanyoike Foundation, she managed to offer scholarship to over 300 beneficiaries. Some of these beneficiaries are still in college, while others have secured gainful employment. Lizzie's scholarship cuts across primary, secondary, and tertiary colleges to universities and was not only limited to bright, needy students. Her conviction that education would break the cycle of poverty made her offer scholarships to needy cases with exemplary low grades. She believed that the poor performance might have been precipitated by the vicious cycle of poverty and wanted to offer these students a chance to break that cycle. Ladies and gentlemen, Lizzie was always concerned that the number of needy cases were increasing exponentially. Although bothered that she could not be in a position to assist all of them due to the limited resources at her disposal, Lizzie had faith that God would provide a way because she had the will. Lizzie's acts of kindness were not limited to education. In 2020, she did set up an ultra-modern dental unit, complete with a computerized dental chair in Roiro Level 4 Hospital, Kiambu County, to address the gap in the hospital's ability to provide quality dental services to the public. Lizzie is recognized that a community thrives when its members support one another, and she took it upon herself to ensure that no one in Ruiru went to bed hungry. Lizzie had set up a food program in Thika Road campus, which was more than a charitable effort. It was a lifeline for families facing economic hardships, a symbol of hope for those in need. She went further and supported those who needed to get into economic ventures to sustain their livelihoods. Lizzie has supplied several motorcycles to young men to run their boda businesses, as well as opened small retail chain businesses to others so that they can have a source of livelihood. All these initiatives drew a lot of admiration locally and internationally, making Lizzie win coveted accolades such as the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Women category in 2018, Dyer Award Entrepreneur of the Year, the Top Women in Business Award, the Trailblazer Women in Business of the Year Award in 2018, and was also among the top 100 Kenyans in 2021. Lizzie was also appointed by the chair, as the chair, Kenyatta University Alumni Association Interim Board by the Vice Chancellor, Professor Wainaina. Lizzie's philanthropy was not merely a financial contribution. It was a personal investment in the well-being of others. Her hands-on approach, be it in volunteering at local charities or organizing community events, showcased her dedication to making a tangible difference in the lives of the less fortunate. In times of crisis, Lizzie was a pillar of support. Her acts of kindness extended beyond material assistance. She offered a shoulder to lean on, a comforting word, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, there is hope and compassion. As we bid farewell to Lizzie, let us carry forward the torch of her philanthropic spirit. Let us be inspired to embrace the needs of our community, just as she did, and to find joy in the act of giving. May her legacy of philanthropy live on in the countless lives she touched. And may we be motivated by her example to create a world where kindness knows no boundaries. Parting is such a sweet sorrow. Lizzie had enjoyed a lifetime of good health until 2018, when she started developing acid reflux symptoms. She got treated at Aga Khan Hospital, but the symptoms did not completely disappear. She could complain of head congestion, though it was manageable. The year 2022, Lizzie started losing weight and feeling tired, which slowed down her normal work routine. Around February 2023, she was diagnosed with cancer, which was at an advanced stage. She went to India for treatment, and after her chemotherapy, she bounced back. She bounced back to life and even managed to grace NIB's 14th graduation in October 20. Around November, she started developing complications that saw her go back to the hospital. Early January 2024, she started vomiting and developed difficulties in walking and was admitted in Aga Khan Hospital. She was later discharged and went back home, where she was observed under nurse care from Aga Khan. On the fateful morning of Sunday 14th, the nurse called the family at home where she was recovering and informed them that Lizzie's organs were failing, and at around 12:30 noon, Lizzie took her last breath, surrounded by family members. As we celebrate the life of an exemplary lady whose humility would not have permitted her to see or refer to herself that way, we pay growing tribute to a life of love, service, and dedication to the less fortunate. Fare thee well, Mom. Treasured Shosho, sweet sister, cherished auntie, beloved friend, and an honored colleague, you have been truly strong to serve. To God be the glory.
Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Oh, what a fortress of glory divine, heir of salvation, purchase of God, born of His Spirit, washed in His blood. This is my story, this is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long.
Quite a detailed eulogy, thoughtfully written, reflecting the true person that Liz was, and well read by Brother Alan Jenga. Let us appreciate him. Thank you very much, Jenga, for beautifully presenting that eulogy. You agree with me that it has covered quite a huge percent of what people would say here. And therefore, as we go to other speeches, we kindly ask those who will be speaking to just fill in few gaps that you are called upon to represent here. So we will start with family speeches. And we have the in-laws representative, Githongo family. Mr. Kimani, come to the front. I will also kindly ask Karioke's family, Kirogo, also come to the front so that immediately he's done with presenting, you take it up in that order. Karioke speaking for the family of origin. Karibuni.
Asante sana. Mimi naongea on behalf ya family ya Githongo, na kama vile Mr. Alan Jenga, tuna huzuni sana. Ya kwanza nitakaribisha nyinyi nyote nikisema kama gavana amefika, naona ako hapa. Karibu sana. Tuna senator wetu, sijui kama amefika, lakini tunakaribisha yeye. Kanisa wa ICK wale wanaongoza ibada ya leo, mabishops, wachungaji wote na pastors wote, karibuni. Senator wetu tunakaribisha, MP wetu wote wale wako hapa tunawakaribisha, MCs wote, wageni wote tunawakaribisha. Na kwa hivyo mimi kwa niaba ya hapo nitaongea kwa lugha ya Kikwetu, Kichaina ya kwetu hapa Katanga. Bwana asifiwe. Mbere nyambe ndimucokerie ngatho inyuothe mukite nigetha gucaka hamwe na ithuĩ bari ya Githongo, na ngiuga ũguo gũkũ tũrĩ nĩkuo gwĩtagwo Gatanga village, Gatanga location, Gatanga sub county na Murang'a county. Koguo ngimunyita ũgeni ngũmwĩra gũkũ nĩ Gatanga na mũigue mũrĩ mũciĩ ithuĩ ta bari ya Githongo. Ithuĩ kana Lizzie ũguo rũgano rwathomwo ndikwenda gũcokera, njuge ithuĩ bari itũ twĩtagwo bari ya Mbu kuma gũkũ Gatanga, na bari ya Mbu nĩ nene tũgacoka roho ithuĩ Githaku kana Githaku na Gĩkũyũ nĩ bari ya Githongo. Ngwenda kuga nĩ wega nĩ ũndũ wa macio mothe mahanĩkĩte, tondũ Ngai ndoragio kĩũria, Ngai ekaga ũrĩa ekwenda. Ngĩtua kwaria njuge maũndũ macio mario hau kana rũgano rũu rwerio ruothe niĩ nĩ ndarwĩkĩra mũkonde, tondũ Liz niĩ hakwa na brother ũyũ ũrũgamĩte haha Bwana Maingi, Liz nĩwe ũtũrerete, na Lesho ndiĩ kana haha niwe ũtũrerete tũrĩ andũ anini, tũrĩ anake. Na niĩ Liz twarutanirie nake kũmenyana 1979. Koguo nĩ anderete, nĩ atwanĩte na niĩ ngatuĩka mũthuri na ngatuĩka ũguo ndariĩ. Bwana asifiwe. Ũndũ ũcio ũngĩ nĩ atĩrĩrĩ, Liz nĩ mwega, Liz maũndũ mothe ararĩ mwega, na ngwaria ũhoro wa gĩcagi tondũ gũkũ nĩkuo gũkĩrĩ gwitũ. Arĩa othe manathiĩ kwĩ Liz, niĩ ndĩ brother ya Mbũrũ, ndarĩ atũcokia na thutha kana agatuoria matharau, ona ndarĩ atwĩka ũndũ mũũru. Akorwo nĩ ũrĩa mũndũ etuaga mũnene, twĩ hamwe tũrakoragwo na family, na Alan Jenga nĩ ũyũ ũguo, nĩ aratũhete gĩtĩo mũno. Koguo na ndũngiuga niĩ ona nĩ kũmaka rĩrĩa ndona rũgano ngaiga haiya no ũrĩa tũraragia nake. Koguo Ngai wa muoyo amwĩke wega na amũige handũ wega kũu matu-inĩ. Haya, ũcio ũngĩ nĩ atĩ thĩinĩ wa Gatanga, Liz o ĩyo o ũhoro ũcio wa nakũu, na ningĩ siasa-inĩ nĩ ekaga siasa nĩ tondũ Conram Mbũrũ Wanyoike ũcio arĩ brother witũ, Liz nĩ amũteithagia gwĩka siasa, na Liz nĩ athiaga onda kũnene mũno o toguo rũgano rũu rwandĩkĩtwo, na nĩ endete gũthiĩ mũno na kwaria na andũ. Wa kerĩ nĩ endete kũingĩrana mũno na andũ. Family itu nä yorerwo nä må tumia wa bata no tå kiuge atä rä rä Ngai ekaga kwenda gwake ngä tiga njuge atä rä rä ithuä nä twatigwo na ciana ciake nä ciatigwo ciana ciake ikorwo ciä hamwe twame hamwe na family ĩrĩa ĩngĩ inyuothe hamwe na mũtũkie Lizzie oro toguo kiugo gĩkĩ kĩarĩkia haha Ngai wa mũrathime na mwĩke wega na ithuĩ ta family tuge nĩ wega nĩ ũndũ wa gũka gũcakaya hamwe na ithuĩ twĩna kĩrĩro na maithori tondũ gũtirĩ ũndũ tũngĩka Ngai amũrathime na mwĩke wega tũkĩnyitanĩra rĩtwa ndinagweta njĩtagwo David Kimani wa Kariũki na Jesu nĩ mũhonokia wa ngoro yakwa. Bwana asifiwe.
Asante. Ndamugeithie inyuothe mũrĩega. Kwa majina naitwa Joseph Kirago Kariũki. Na vile mmesikia from that eulogy, Liz was born of Naomi and Peterson Kariũki. So I'm here to represent the Kariũki family. I'll be very brief because mine is just to convey my deepest condolences to the family of Wanyoike, especially Tony, Kiki, and Stella. You're the one who's going to be hit hard, but take heart, all will be well. And then also to thank the people. Thank you all people. We will never get tired of thanking you. From day one, you've supported us. From the day on Sunday when the news broke out, our phones were full of people condoling with us and giving messages of sympathy. We've been having prayer meetings every day, and you've been turning up in large numbers to console the family, and we are so grateful for that. Thank you. So Liz to me was not just a sister, she was a sister to go and stay with her. That was almost 50 years ago, and since then we've been with her. And she was a kind woman. I don't know how to express it because it is known. I don't want to give a testimony about and Lizzie will never give you cash money. I think the most money I've ever gotten from her is 100 shillings. And that was for pocket money when I was going to school. She will never give you money. But she will ask you, what is your problem? You will tell her, I have a project. I want to do this and this. So she will tell you, okay, 20. You think now she's taking you to the bank to give you money. She takes you to the manager, because she was in very good terms with the managers, equity and finance. And then she will tell you, what you wanted to tell me, tell this guy. Then you say, I want this project, I want this much money. But I was expecting my sister to give it to me. In any case, what happens now, we are going to give you a loan. That project, if you want to buy a vehicle, you make sure you bring that logbook, stay in his bank, take your car, go and do business, be paying and getting a profit from there. And we all, excuse me, we all, one day I had said, no way, I'm going to approach my sister. So I told her, please take me, you know this bank. Because those days in the 19, you couldn't just walk into the bank and get a mortgage the way you do now. Nowadays, getting loans how much is it? You had to know someone. So she told me, why do you want to take a mortgage? Let me see your payslip. I showed her. How are you going to pay a mortgage with this kind of money in this payslip? She told me, you can't. But I'm going to help you. I have a house in South Sea, which I'm renting, and I'm really getting problems with the tenants. How much money do you have? I told her. She told me, bring it. That is the deposit for that house. That house is yours, but you have to complete payment because we wrote an agreement of how much money that, the market value of that house. Pay me every time you get something, bring it. I ended up paying that house after 20 years. In fact, Stella can attest to that because the house was in her name. That is how good she was. She was, I'm finishing, a disciplinarian. If Jenga didn't know and the people in school, if you're staying with her, you have to abide to her rules. I was staying in her house. You make a mistake of coming home after her or late, you sleep outside. Lucky for us, there used to be a servant's quarters up next. So there was one unoccupied room. We normally used to come. Once you refused to enter, you go and sleep there. Many a times I slept there. I think it took you an aunt. I don't know how until you I was. No, Tony was here very young. Yeah, so I slept there many times, and I put the blame squarely on my wife. Because those were the days when we were dating. And when I was taking her for a movie, we ended up in the carnival. I come home late, I'm locked outside. So, but it was all in good order because after I told her that I've been sleeping outside because of you, she agreed to marry me. I think that was the only way she could show her sympathy. Yeah, so I think I'll end there. Our sister, rest in peace. We loved you so much. We loved you so much. And I'm sure there are people who will come here and attest to that. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, the family. Those are the family speeches. Now we will go to family tributes. And we will start with the children. Therefore, kindly, Anthony, Stella, and Eric, you can take the floor now.
It is well with my soul, with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. My name is Anthony Wanyoike. I'm the first-born son to Lizzie. Standing next to me is my wife, Susan Wairimo, and my children are seated over there. I am just going to read a tribute from here, because if I stand here and talk off the cuff, I don't know where I'll end up. I don't know. So I'm going to read my tribute. It's a little bit different from what you have in the booklet. So I start. My dearest mom, as I try to put into words the multitude of emotions coursing through me, I find myself at a loss because in your departure, I'm bidding farewell to not just a mother, but a source of boundless love, guidance, and inspiration. I will miss you more than words can convey. Reflecting on the years gone by, I'm flooded with memories of your unwavering love and the invaluable nuggets of advice you generously imparted. From the early years of my life, I witnessed your caring nature, evident in the way you nurtured not only me and my siblings, but also extended a relatives. Just like an example is my uncle. A decision that I have never regretted. You became my boss, and I vividly recall a staff meeting where I mistakenly referred to you as mom. Oh boy. I remember that look till today. The look you gave me was a reminder of the boundaries between work and family. A balance you always maintained. As a disciplinarian, yes, she was a disciplinarian. You knew when to crack the whip, dispensing tough love when necessary.